The text arrived while I was reviewing quarterly reports in my office. Honey, about Easter, your father and I think we need some quiet family time this year. Just us, Emma, and her kids. You understand, right? You're always so busy anyway. I stared at my phone, a familiar ache settling in my chest. My name is Olivia Mitchell, and at 34, I'd just been uninvited from another family holiday. The irony wasn't lost on me. Being the busy, successful one had somehow become a convenient excuse for my family to exclude me. Perfect timing, Mom, I typed back, my fingers steady despite the hurt bubbling inside. I was actually thinking of doing something different this year. The response was immediate. Oh, good. You're not upset. We just want some peaceful bonding time with the grandkids. You know how hectic things get with everyone around. By everyone, she meant me. Just me, because apparently my sister Emma's 3 hyperactive children under 10 qualified as peaceful, but my quiet presence was too disruptive. I set my phone down and turned to my computer, opening my saved folder labeled Someday. Inside was a collection of dream vacation spots I'd been cataloging for years. One particular destination caught my eye. A private villa in the Maldives, the kind of place that made Instagram influencers weep with envy. For years, I put off taking exotic vacations, always making sure I was available for family gatherings, always being the responsible one. While Emma gallivanted around with her perfect family, sharing picture-perfect holiday moments, I was the one organizing events, buying thoughtful gifts, and maintaining family traditions. My phone buzzed again. And sweetie, could you still make those Easter baskets for the kids? You know how much they love your special treats. I laughed out loud, uninvited but still expected to contribute. Classic. Instead of responding, I opened my banking app. The bonus from my last successful project sat untouched, along with years of savings from being the workaholic my family always accused me of being. The Maldives Villa's booking page was still open in another tab, tempting me with images of crystal clear waters and pristine beaches. Sometimes, my therapist had told me just last week, the best response to being excluded is to create something better for yourself. I clicked Book Now. The confirmation email arrived just as another text from my mother popped up. Also, could you drop off the Easter ham on Saturday? I know you always get the good one from that special butcher. I sat back in my chair, a smile spreading across my face. For the first time in years, I felt lighter, almost giddy. I opened my calendar and began blocking off 3 weeks, one before Easter, Easter week, and 1 week after. Then I did something I'd never done before. I set my work email to out of office and called my assistant. Sarah, remember that extended break we discussed? I'm taking it. All of it. Finally, she exclaimed. Want me to book those meetings for when you return? Yes, and Sarah, make sure to forward me any family emails. I have a feeling they're going to be interesting. The next few days were a blur of preparations. I bought a new wardrobe, not the practical business attire I usually wore, but flowing sundresses, elegant beachwear, and accessories that screamed luxury vacation. I hired a professional photographer in the Maldives to document my stay. If my family wanted peace and quiet, I'd give them something to be quiet about. A week before Easter, another text arrived from Emma. Mom said you're not coming to Easter? Don't be difficult, Liv. You know how much the kids want to see their favorite aunt. I sent back a simple response. Don't worry, I won't be difficult. I'll be unavailable. Have a peaceful Easter. The emoji was just enough to make Emma pause. What does that mean? Where are you going? You'll see, I replied, then silenced my phone. The morning of my departure, I posted a simple photo on Instagram, my passport next to a first-class ticket, with the caption "Time for some peace and quiet of my aunt" was the first personal post I'd made in months, breaking my usual pattern of sharing only work achievements and family event photos. Within hours, my phone was flooded with messages. Mom, Dad, Emma, even my Aunt Susan all wanted to know where I was going. But for once, I wasn't available to answer their questions. I was too busy boarding a plane, champagne in hand, ready to start my own peaceful Easter tradition. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of their peaceful Easter turning into 3 weeks of regret. The Maldives were more breathtaking than any photo could capture. As I stepped onto the private deck of my water villa, the turquoise ocean stretching endlessly before me, I felt a surge of joy. This was what peace looked like, not being excluded from family gatherings, but choosing your own paradise. My villa was a masterpiece of luxury, floor-to-ceiling windows, a private infinity pool that merged with the ocean horizon, and a personal butler named Kay who seemed to anticipate my needs before I even knew them. "Miss Mitchell," Kay said, arranging a welcome fruit platter, "the photographer you hired will be available tomorrow at sunrise. The lighting then is magical." I smiled, already imagining the photos. Not the forced family portraits my mother insisted on every Easter, but professional shots of me living my best life. "Perfect, Kai, and the other arrangements?" "All set. The private yacht tour, sunset dinner on the beach, and the spa treatments are scheduled. Also, the chef wants to know if you'd like to join the private cooking class. They're making traditional Maldivian dishes. Back home, I'd be preparing Easter baskets and hunting for the perfect ham. Instead, I was learning to make exotic dishes and planning adventures. The contrast wasn't lost on me. My phone, which I'd kept on airplane mode since landing, buzzed with accumulated messages when I briefly checked it. "Mom, honey, where are you? The kids are asking about their Easter baskets." "Emma, OMG, did you seriously leave the country? Mom's freaking out." "Dad, Princess, this isn't like you. Call us." I responded with a single photo, me in a designer sundress, holding a coconut drink on my private deck, the infinite ocean behind me. No caption needed. The response was immediate. Emma called 3 times in succession. I declined each call with a serene smile, then sent her a video of a pod of dolphins playing near my villa. "Is that where you are?" she texted back. "That looks like one of those super luxury resorts. How can you afford that?" I could almost hear the jealousy in her message. Emma had always assumed that because I was single and focused on my career, I was somehow missing out on life. She never considered that not having 3 kids and a spending-happy husband meant I had resources to spare. The next morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, the photographer captured shots that would make any travel magazine envious. Me doing yoga on the deck, enjoying a floating breakfast in my private pool, snorkeling with sea turtles. Each photo was carefully curated and posted throughout the day. My usually quiet social media exploded with activity. Friends, colleagues, and family members couldn't stop commenting. "Living your best life. This is what peace looks like. Where's my invitation?" But it was my mother's comments that truly showed the impact. "Olivia, please call us. The Easter dinner won't be the same without you. Sweetheart, we didn't mean to upset you. Those Easter baskets you make, the children are so disappointed." I posted another photo in response, me taking a cooking class, learning to make exotic desserts. Caption, "Creating new traditions." Emma's response was particularly satisfying. "Must be nice to be so selfish and only think about yourself." I replied with a video of me releasing baby sea turtles into the ocean as part of the resort's conservation program. Caption, "Finding peace in helping others." By Easter morning, while my family was probably gathering for their peaceful celebration, I was having breakfast on a private sandbank, surrounded by nothing but crystal clear waters and serenity. The chef had prepared a feast that made traditional Easter dinner look bland. Fresh tropical fruits, local delicacies, and pastries that belonged in an art gallery. I posted a photo of my Easter dinner, a private beachside barbecue with fresh caught lobster and champagne. The caption read, "Sometimes peace finds you in unexpected places. Happy Easter." My phone nearly exploded with notifications. Friends asking for resort details, colleagues praising my well-deserved break, and family members who hadn't spoken to me in years suddenly wanting to reconnect. But the most telling response came from my mother. "We made a mistake. Please come home soon. We miss you." I took a sip of champagne and watched the sun set over the ocean. Going home soon. I was just getting started. This wasn't just a vacation. It was a declaration of independence. And the best part? My peaceful paradise was about to make their quiet Easter look like exactly what it was. A poor excuse to exclude someone who had always been there for them. Little did they know, the photos and videos I'd shared were just a taste of what was to come. The next 2 weeks would show them exactly what they'd missed out on, and more importantly, who they'd underestimated. The final 2 weeks of my Maldives getaway became a masterclass in living well. Each day, I shared carefully curated glimpses of paradise that made my family's peaceful Easter look increasingly disappointing in comparison. My sister Emma's passive-aggressive comment about selfishness particularly inspired me. I arranged to spend a day at the resort's Marine Conservation Center, helping with coral restoration and sea turtle rehabilitation. The photos of me in diving gear, helping marine biologists, sparked a new wave of admiration from my social network. "Never knew you were so passionate about marine life," commented my cousin Kate, who'd sided with my parents about the Easter exclusion. I responded with a video of me naming each sea turtle I'd helped, explaining their stories and rehabilitation journey. The resort's photographer captured it all, not just the glamorous moments, but the meaningful ones too. Me teaching local children English during a community outreach program, participating in beach cleanups, and learning about sustainable tourism. Each post was a subtle reminder that being busy and successful didn't make me the family disruption they'd painted me to be. Mom's texts became increasingly desperate. The kids barely touched their Easter baskets. They said they weren't the same. "Your father's ham was overcooked. You know he never gets it right without your help." Emma's youngest had a meltdown during Easter egg hunt. "You always knew how to calm her down." I responded to each with photos of my continuing adventure, swimming with manta rays, taking a sunset cruise on a luxury yacht, enjoying private beachside spa treatments, living my best life while they dealt with the chaos they'd chosen. Then came the turning point. Emma posted a family photo from Easter dinner, everyone trying to smile but looking strained. Her caption read, "Family peace and quiet, missing some noise though." I waited until evening in the Maldives to respond. Mind you, they'd all be awake back home. I posted a video montage of my entire trip, the villa, the adventures, the conservation work, the luxury experiences, set to peaceful ocean sounds. The caption, "Found my peace in paradise. Sometimes exclusion is the greatest gift you can give someone." The response was nuclear. My phone exploded with family messages. "Dad, Princess, we made a terrible mistake. That place looks incredible." "Emma, I can't believe you did all this while we were stuck dealing with sugar-rushed kids and mom's drama." "Mom, why didn't you tell us you could afford such luxury? We thought you were just working all the time." The family group chat, which had been notably quiet during Easter, suddenly sparked to life. Relatives I hadn't heard from in months were tagging me, asking about the resort, wondering if I could help plan their vacations. On my last evening in paradise, I hosted a private dinner on the beach. The chef prepared a fusion of Maldivian and international cuisine, while fire dancers performed on the shore. The photos were spectacular, me in a flowing white dress, dining under the stars, looking completely at peace. I captioned it, "Thank you for the space to create my own traditions. Best Easter gift ever." My mother called immediately. This time I answered. "Olivia," she began, her voice thick with emotion, "we were wrong. So wrong. We thought you were too busy for family time, too focused on work to enjoy holidays. But look at what you've created for yourself. It's beautiful." "Yes, Mom," I replied calmly, watching the stars reflect on the ocean. "It is beautiful. And all it took was being excluded for me to finally take this time for myself." The silence on her end was heavy with understanding. "Next Easter," she said finally, would you help us plan something like this? As a family?" I smiled, thinking of the photos from their peaceful Easter gathering. The chaos, the stress, the forced smiles. "Maybe," I replied. "But first, you all need to understand something. I'm not just the reliable daughter who makes Easter baskets and picks up hams. I'm someone who can create magic of her own." "We see that now," she whispered. "We really do." As I packed to leave paradise, I received one final message from Emma. "I get it now, sis. Sometimes the noise we need isn't from kids or chaos. It's from someone who brings their own kind of peace. Next holiday is yours to plan. Show us your version of family time." I looked around my villa one last time, at the paradise I claimed for myself when they tried to exclude me. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about rising above, finding your own peace, and letting others realize what they missed. My last post from the Maldives was simple, a sunrise photo with the caption, "Thanks for the space to grow. Next family gathering will be on my terms." Paradise has room for everyone, if they're ready to appreciate it. The likes and comments poured in, but I didn't check them. I was too busy planning next Easter's family gathering, this time on my terms, in my paradise. Sometimes the best response to exclusion is to create something so magnificent that inclusion becomes a privilege, not a right. And that's exactly what I did.